Hello, good afternoon. I would like to talk about something new. It's called Plexus Analysis from ChemAxon. This is a new product, and it's about data analysis. And data analysis is, here is the definition from Wikipedia, but in a summary, how I perceive it, as if you have data, and looking back to these previous presentations, you can see that ChemAxon is a provider of strong and powerful database tools. We have lots of data registered, and this is analysis provides us information gained from the data. And Plexus Analysis is a web-based data visualization and analytics tool for life science industries. And thanks to the strong backend of ChemAxon technologies in predictions, clustering, and lots of tools which we heard about during these last 2 days, or previous UGMs, we position this software for the life science industry. And Plexus Analysis is designed in a way that it can be integrated into other tools, and it works with can work with other tools and already integrated in Plexus Connect. So Plexus Connect files or other third-party data sources can provide data through the web service interfaces. And I would like to show you how it looks like and how it works. You may realize if you recently saw Plexus Connect that it has a temporary dashboard. And from the dashboard, we started Plexus Analysis, and we can import a file as the most basic data source. And here we see a kind of spreadsheet-like component. We are not in a database. It loads on the server. You can see the chemical structures and additional data. And the first part of visualization is charting. So one chart, we can create, for example, a histogram here. And you can examine the distribution of the data according to a certain property. But we have a component, an adapter in Plexus Connect, which can send data into Plexus Analysis. Now we go in this database and filter out some records. We don't need the very small compounds and the very large ones. The search is running in the database table. We can sort the records by molecular weight. And then, in this case, this works with the forms as well. And even with multiple forms and connected tables, you can select what kind of columns, which fields you would like to transfer to Plexus Analysis to examine the data. So when you press this button, a new browser tab opens with Plexus Analysis. The data is on the Plexus Analysis server now, and you can do whatever you want with it. And you can't do too many things. This is the first version. You can create charts. So here we create a scatter plot chart, which has 5 dimensions at the moment: X, Y, color, shapes, and size. And since we selected a numerical field for the color, it's automatically gradient by default. And we can create other visualizations more than once, so you can have more charts. It's a similar look to Plexus Connect. There is a shortcut as well, so you can select, you open a table, you select 2 columns that you want them to be X and Y axes in a scatter plot. And it's from a pop-up menu. The table is sent to Plexus Analysis, and the scatter plot is created accordingly. Another shortcut is for the histogram. You just select 1 column, and you send the data there. So this is a quick and easy way for a scientist, for a chemist, or biologist to send, just to visualize the data without complexities. When we started developing this tool, we approached some companies and tried to interview them what kind of data visualization they use, either with software, either on paper. And there was one interesting point which came out quite often. So one company said that they wanted to move to a visualization software, but since it couldn't handle more than a few thousand points, because then it became quite slow. It wasn't interactive at all. They couldn't use it. That was a problem with that, so they didn't purchase it. Then the other expressed that they sometimes, they often use just few records, but they sometimes want to use millions of data points. Another company in Italy, pharma services company, said that they used the software and they purchased another visualization tool, which was more modern and looking good. But since it wouldn't be able to cope with large number of records, they returned back to the old system. And there was one software which was powerful but was quite difficult to use, so it was more for the experts but couldn't be distributed among the scientists. So it was a challenge to consider this, but since this was quite significant request, designed Plexus Analysis as a system which, besides being able to handle a small number of points, it is able to handle large number of records, millions of records, and within a web environment where transferring data is a problem, it was a challenge. But we solved this, and here is the demonstration. We just load a file here, and I have to tell that this wasn't recorded in a local host. So really the server was in a different location than this computer. We load here just 100,000 points, but that was enough for this illustration. It works the same with the Think database with 16 million points, and I'm interested in trying this with larger number of records. So the loading was quite fast because we use SMICE format it's a tab-separated SMICE format here. So only the file size is the speed determining component. And we create now a scatter plot. And scatter plot is the challenging because there you can have plenty of points. In a histogram, you have bins. So that's graphically not too intensive. In a scatter plot, we selected, for example, Lipinski's rules for the color axis. So those, how many rules are hurt by these compounds. And if you move the mouse over the axis and use the mouse wheel, you can scale the individual axis, or you can zoom into the entire data set. And as you zoom in, the data is fetched from the server. So you can explore like a star field this whole system, and you can access all the points of the entire database. If you move the mouse over certain points, if there is a chemical structure in the table, then the chemical structure is displayed and the row ID, the row number. If there is no chemical structure in the table, then the assigned fields, so other data. This is not configurable at the moment, but we are going to make it configurable. We can create a histogram as well. We change the number of bins. Then the bins are automatically laid out. And what we will do now, we just zoom in a little bit in the data set again so we can access individual points. We can hide the legend. We zoom in. And if we click on a point, we select it. And the point, this is the synchronized, so the data source, the data table, which is a spreadsheet, the histogram, and the scatter plot are synchronized, even with this big data set. So you can work with it. It is possible to select rectangular area, and you can see the distribution of the selected items in the histogram. So this is something new for ChemAxon. You can see this is a first step in a direction of data visualization. We have few functions at the moment, and the focus is on that it's web-based. So distribution is easy. You heard why web-based things are efficient. It supports large data, and it's simple. Usability is more important at the moment for us than feature richness. We would like to deliver this for the masses, for the scientists. And it's will be a free and interactive playground. You are not in the database. You get the data out from the database. You can modify it. You don't hurt any rules of the system. It's for discovery. It supports chemistry and will support biology, so the Helm editor compounds and the biological data, and it's still evolving. We just opened the first chest with scatter plot and histogram, but there are others to open. These will come. We're now having a weekly release, so you will see more and more features, and you can bet on that the strengths of ChemAxon will appear in this application. And it's released today, so if you go to the demo site of Plexus or go to the product site, I hope that the last images have been placed there. You can download it and try it. And let me introduce you the team who worked on it. It's a shared team between Ostrava and Budapest, and I would like to thank everyone's contribution, including the UX team, who worked a lot on making it simple and aesthetic. Thank you very much.